Today, I want to talk about all things when it comes to family gatherings and celebrations, especially around the holidays when you are a person who has food allergies or food sensitivities. Let's be honest, it can sometimes be really hard and challenging to figure out what am I going to eat at these places that have all of these incredibly wonderful, beautiful, delicious meals and snacks and everything else you can imagine, but you know that it's going to upset your system, or you know that it's something that you can't have, or you may have an allergy attack and end up in the hospital. What do you do? How do you manage expectations? How do you make sure that you're not offending your family members, but you're also keeping yourself safe and making sure that your gut stays happy, and so that you're not in the bathroom or feeling terrible or something else for the rest of your visit? How do you do it? That's what we're going to dive into today. Nothing is worse than feeling like you have to show up and you're thinking, oh my gosh, I can't eat. I can't eat anything. All of this stuff is going to make me feel bad. Or heaven forbid that you have an allergy to something that could land you in the hospital or worse. How do you manage the expectations with friends and family members? Well, today I want to talk about a couple of different ways that we do it in ours. First thing that we do is we ask our host, what are you guys serving? Can we bring something? That way you know if they are having a spread of different things. Number one, you can pack yourself some snacks that you know will work well for you. And number two, you can bring something that will be amazing that can be shared with everyone else, but you also know it's a safe food for you. You know what the ingredients are. You know how it's been prepared. You know there's no cross-contamination, and it's something that you can contribute, feel like you can still participate, and that you can also have as a go-to food in the case of a get-together. If the person says, oh no, don't bring anything, say, no, I never show up to a party empty-handed. That could be a great excuse and a way to kind of segue your way in there. Another way is to just be straight honest with them and say, look, I'm actually on a health journey right now, and I'm on a medically necessary food journey, figuring out what foods work well for my body. It has nothing to do with anything you're making. It sounds incredible what you're making, actually. I wish I could participate. I just know that certain things aren't going to jive with my system, so I have to be kind of selective on what I choose. But I know everything that you're making will be incredible. I've always been of the mindset, praise with kindness. Make sure that you are encouraging to them. Make sure that you are saying things in a way that makes them feel like they are a great host, because they truly are. And you want to go in without a judgmental attitude, but one of, it's about me. The more you can use the I statements and it's all about me, the better. When you're talking with relatives and loved ones or friends about health journeys that you are on and things that you are trying for you and your body, you should never feel ashamed. Never feel like it's something that is you need to cower away from, or that you need to apologize for. You know your body best, and you know your children's bodies best. And one of the hardest things to do is to be different in a room full of people all doing the same thing. But the key is to know that what you're doing for you and your loved ones is for your best interest. Keep the end goal in mind. Know that what you're doing is you're making yourself feel better. You're not going to pay for it later. You're not putting your child's life in danger just because you want to let them be similar to everyone else in the room. The key to letting people know, and most can be really understanding, is to be upfront and be honest. Be gentle in your approach using I statements, because really it's all about you, your body, and the journey that you are on, and help people to be understanding and respectful of that. But at the end of the day, it's not your job to convince them, and it's not your job to make sure that they are respectful towards you. You have to own you and do you appropriately. One of the things that I always share with my family members are statements that say, I've been on this health journey for a little while now. I'm finding foods, I'm finding things that I know that are good and healthy for my body. Everything that you're making sounds absolutely amazing. I just know that right now I'm having to eat a little differently because I know what's going to agree with my body and what's not. Has nothing to do with your cooking. It all smells incredible. I love everything that you have on the table. Just know that I'm going to have to do it a little differently this year just because I need to stay on top of what I'm trying to accomplish. You can also tell people what allergies are ahead of time. I'm allergic to milk, can't do eggs, can't do wheat. And then they say, well, what can you have? The great news about that is that if you haven't already offered to bring something to contribute, you can tell them a recipe. Send them a recipe if they want to contribute. That way they can make the cookies for you. Just make sure that they are really clear on where you get everything and that they don't misinterpret an ingredient thinking that they're being safe, but actually it's really dangerous. Example of this would be milk ingredients. If people don't know how to read labels properly, they could inadvertently put something dangerous in a food that they thought was safe. The greatest thing to do is, if somebody is willing, have them show you pictures. Take pictures of the ingredients of the things that they are making for you so that you can be assured that everything you're putting in your body is in fact safe and is in fact something that will jive with your particular system. One thing that I can also share with individuals about health and eating is I can say I so appreciate how much love you have put into making this spread, making this food. I'm on a medically needed and guided diet for my health at this point in time, and I may bring a few things for myself. I hope you'll understand. Please know it has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with me and just making sure that I'm keeping myself in my best functioning way. The way that I handle kids is I will often prepare foods ahead of time that we can take. These include snack foods, maybe an entire meal, and I'll pack it in a safe box that I know is good for them. The way to make yourself not stand out in a crowd full of plates and people taking things off the counter and enjoying a meal themselves, put all of your stuff on your own plate. That way it looks like everyone else's. Unless they're really looking closely at it, they're thinking, oh, they're participating and eating too, instead of, why aren't you eating? Don't you want some? Instead of constantly battling the conversations that inevitably come with people wanting to include you and be part of it, you can bring your own. And that way you too can participate, not go hungry, not feel like you have to abstain, but you can honestly enjoy your time there too. One of the other things to consider when dealing with family gatherings and holidays and being a little different than the norm of everyone else around you, preparing yourself mentally ahead of time can go a long way. I know for me, whenever I'm on different food restrictions or diets or having to leave things out of my everyday, it can really mess with my psyche. I get depressed, I get angry, it's frustrating. My kids, if I'm having to implement these kind of things on them, they don't like being different. They get really down on themselves. How do we prepare ahead of time? One of the biggest mindset challenges I can share with you is look at the positive of what you can have versus what you can't. Perspective is everything. If you focus on the negative of saying, oh, I can't have sugar this year, or I can't have eggs, or I can't have dairy, gosh, what can I have? It can get really discouraging really fast. And it can be a spiraling mindset of like, well, they can have it and I can't. How do you deal with that? The best thing I know to do is to really focus in, okay, you're right. Acknowledge your feelings. I can't have that. It is frustrating. It is annoying to be different. It is highly discouraging to feel like you have to be so limited in a world that has so many options of incredibly delectable, delightful things to eat all the time. And to feel like you can't participate in that, it's a real drag. But if you focus on what you can have and like, oh, I can't do this, but I can do that. Or bringing your own things, knowing you have your safe foods, and knowing at the end of it all that you are going to feel your best and that you are not setting yourself up for failure, for having to pay for it later, or heaven forbid, put your life in danger with allergies that could be life-threatening. It's well worth it in the end. Something that could be a good practice in helping with this mindset is doing a gratitude journal. Writing down daily what you are grateful for in the way of food, in the way of allergies, in the way of making things possible in your life. I can't stress enough about the importance of making sure that your own mindset is in a good place, making sure that your kids' mindset is in a good place when you go into these different environments with these rightfully stressful thoughts and things that are going to inevitably come up, especially when your grandmother says, "Oh, don't you want a little bit of that?" Or your aunt says, "Oh my gosh, I just made these. These are so good and my daughter loves them. I want you to try one too." And you're like, "Ooh, I can't. I'm so sorry." Explaining where you are, showing people that you really care, praising them about it, giving them lots of compliments, but then also sticking to what you know to be best for you. That's the best way to approach that. One of the last things that we do to make sure that we have our expectations in check is that we don't expect people to bend to our every will. We know that people don't deal with this every day. And so going in with an understanding that people don't think about allergies, that they don't think about food sensitivities, that they don't think about having to be on these diets is really important for you to not get frustrated and for you to not feel like, gosh, they just don't get it. When we remember that everybody else is not dealing with this on a daily basis, it helps us to keep our perspective in check. I don't expect people to change for me, but I also, when people offer, I will gladly encourage them to say, "Oh, thank you so much. That's so very kind of you. What can I do to help make this easier?" Again, giving them explicit recipes, where to shop for certain ingredients, and making sure that they take photos of that is a great way to go. Also saying, "Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I'm going to take care of me, but I greatly appreciate you thinking of us." And they're like, "Oh, okay. That might work too." Again, bringing your own things could also be a remedy to that problem. But the biggest thing is making sure that you have different pieces in place to make these gatherings as smooth and as easygoing on you as well as your host as possible. So, key takeaways: bring your own things, contribute foods that you know are safe and that would be really good for everyone to help. Maybe you can even help plan the party with them. And that way you can offer different suggestions and multiple people can jump in and be able to help with these different healthy options that would be available to you, but also really good for everyone else too. Making sure that you eat beforehand, making sure that you have your snacks on hand, the go-to pieces that you know you need. And then also managing expectations of yourself, but also of those there, should set you up for a successful holiday season, for lots of gatherings and anything that you need to do in the future. If you think of somebody who this would benefit from, please share this with them. I would love to be able to pass on these tips, the knowledge and the tricks and the things that I have learned along the years of how to make holidays and gatherings more doable. I would love for you to sign up below. Make sure you can put get your freebie below. Make sure you put your email there so that you can also get different ideas and ways to manage allergies and healthy, holistic lifestyles in your inbox weekly. I'd love to be able to share that with you. Until next time, peace be with you.